Today I'm going to make a video on how to dispute your beliefs using rational thinking and kind of the mindset behind it, and then just kind of, a good exercise that I've done. If you can just make sure that you like and subscribe down at the bottom, leave any comments, suggestions for future videos, I would really appreciate it. So, always clearing my throat. First thing that I would say is when you're disputing beliefs, you need to have the mindset of that you're doing it to not make the thoughts, feelings, sensations go away, because that is a compulsion. So making sure that you're not doing it compulsively, because then it doesn't really help anything. Having the mindset of being like, oh, I got to do this because I got to make this go away isn't going to really help you. So you need to kind of just do it just as like a part of your day. One thing that I suggest, like when you're doing it in a timely manner, if you've never done it before, maybe do it 5 days a week for a month straight, then, maybe 3 times a week for a month. And then, maybe after that you're doing it once a week for a month, and then kind of just leaving things alone for a month, right? Just to really give yourself time to adjust and to work through those things and get lots of practice in. The other thing to pay attention to when disputing beliefs is OCD has this ability to always do this call of action. So this immediate attention that needs to happen, and you want to be wary of those things. For me, if I'm going to dispute a belief, sometimes I'll have something that comes up and I won't mess with it for months, and it just is, it's never even a thing, right? But OCD tries to make you like go for it. So you want to make sure that, like, if you are doing it, it needs to be something that is actually causing a lot of uncomfortable feelings, thoughts for periods of time, not just an immediate call to action. Because if you have like a setback, you try to jump back in to fix the problem, then it's compulsion. That doesn't fix anything, right? The other thing is using rumination in a good way. So rumination, the amazing thing about it is the roadmap for your irrational beliefs. So if you have rumination consistently about the same thing, you can literally identify your fears and know what you need to work on, which is a really, really amazing thing about rumination, right? And obviously rumination is something that's automatic. It's not going to just go away. It's something that is only going to go down once the fear goes down. So once the fear goes down and you notice that there's no rumination, but maybe you're still very uncomfortable body sensations, the fear doesn't necessarily be worked on, but you might just be sensitized, and you might just need to be uncomfortable for a period of time. So think about it like if you were to get a rope and you just kept twisting it and it just kept winding itself and winding itself and winding itself. You have to allow your body to unwind, right? And the more you try to fix it, the more you get stuck in that anxious cycle. And then the other thing is just really be patient. This isn't something that's just going to happen overnight. This is something that's going to take time. You need to be compassionate with yourself. And during these times, making sure you're doing fun things, enjoying times with family, exercising, and you want to do things in a balanced way and in a non-compulsive way. So I tell you, exercise that I do, it's right out of How to Stubbornly Refuse to Make Yourself Miserable About Anything. It's something that I use when I'm disputing. I really like it. I also use rational emotive imagery as well. That's another one. Maybe I'll do a video on it, but for now we'll stick with this. But so the first question that I have when I write it on paper is, what self-limiting belief do I want to dispute today? So I write down whatever belief it is, right? Then can I rationally support this belief? Okay. And we'll use like fear of fear, for example, like I'm afraid to compulsively be stuck all the time and be anxious forever and have it ruin my life. Can I rationally support this belief? Well, not rationally, because the reality of it is there's lots of times in my life where even being compulsively stuck and anxious, that I have found times of joy and fun. And I've been able to actually do lots of things in my life. Maybe it has limited me a little, but it's only limited me because of my actions, right? Now, what's the evidence of this? What's the evidence of the falseness of this belief? Well, there's been lots of times in my life where I wasn't compulsively stuck and anxious. And maybe for some people there's more or less, but that means that there is an ability and a time where you have the capability to get back to that, right? And another thing is and I want to point this out, this is a little bit different, but a lot of people want to get back to who they were before OCD was compulsively stuck. And you have to realize that when breaking down through beliefs, you have to actually change who you are to become a new, you have to change. You can't be that old person. That's the person that got you stuck, right? So that's one thing that really works good for that question. Now, does any evidence exist of the truth of this belief? Well, there's not any evidence that there's the truth that I'm going to be compulsively stuck forever, because I've had lots of times where I haven't had setbacks, or lots of consistent times for long periods of times where I haven't had any anxiety. And then, when I was really compulsively stuck, I had days, sometimes weeks, months where, it would go away, come back, so there's no evidence that I will for sure be stuck forever. And then, what's the worst case scenario that will happen if I don't get my must? So, and my must is that I must not be chronically anxious for long periods of time and haven't ruined my life. Well, excuse me. The worst thing that could happen is, let's say that I was chronically anxious all the time. Maybe I couldn't hold a job down, right? And I would not be able to support myself. Maybe my credit would get bad. I would lose all of my money. And then I maybe wouldn't have a place to live, so I'd have to live with family, right? I don't think I would be homeless just because I have lots of family that love me. But, let's say that I didn't have family and maybe I would be homeless. That would obviously, suck, but, there's gonna be lots of times where I could find happiness. I'd probably always have shelter. I don't think that's gonna be a thing where I'm at. Always have food. I'm sure I would have jobs at periods of time where I would be able to, work, and maybe I wouldn't always be able to have integrity with that job, be there on time and do everything because of my anxiety, but I would be able to have a job. Maybe the worst case is I wouldn't be able to have a girlfriend, I wouldn't be able to have sex, I wouldn't be able to have intimate feelings for someone, or be able to have a relationship like that. Well, obviously that wouldn't be preferred, but I could live life perfectly normal and happy by myself. And also, I'm sure there would be times in life where I would meet women, maybe if it was even a smaller amount, and obviously be able to have sex. And then, the other worst case scenarios, maybe I'm just really uncomfortable and really anxious, and just really don't like the way that I feel all the time. Well, I would still be able to do most things. I'd be able to sleep, shit, eat, fuck. I would still be able to do all the normal things anxious. I don't care what anybody says. Like, I'm gonna be able to do that. It doesn't matter how chronically anxious I am. Like, those are always functions that I'm going to be able to do. Worst case scenario, right? And then I would say maybe the other belief is, just maybe being a nuisance, or maybe not being wanted by others and family, and being a burden on them. And obviously that would be terrible. But I'm sure my mom absolutely loves me. Even though she annoys me sometimes. Worst case scenario, I feel like I'm going to be living at my mom's, sleeping on her couch, playing video games, and compulsively anxious, and drinking all the time because I'm trying to chase away my emotions and feelings. That's the worst case scenario for me, right? Now, what good things can I make happen if I don't get what I want? Okay. So the good things that I can make happen if I am chronically anxious is, one, I can make sure that I exercise every day, because I can choose my actions. I can, even if I'm uncomfortable, decide to get up and go to work every day. Even if I'm uncomfortable, I can decide and choose to do my best to treat others in the best way possible, and try to make sure that I'm providing for myself and others. And then the other thing I can do is I can try to educate myself and further progress as an individual when it comes to my OCD and anxiety recovery. This is just a simple exercise, guys. It's not many questions. The other thing that's really important that I want to highlight is you don't do disputing for 2-3 hours a day. It's not like if you get the reading list, it's like, all right, here's your 5 books. You don't read them all in a week. That's compulsive, and honestly, your brain doesn't really work like that. It's better that you take 10-20 minutes a day, small times, right, to do this. So this exercise that I just went over, these questions that I just went over, it's short, it's simple, it's to the point, and it's just It's right there, right? And it's going to highlight the good and the bad, the worst case scenario, and it over time will help change your mindset when it comes to your irrational beliefs. So, but anyways, guys, that's all I got for you today for OCD and anxiety recovery.